was nice and smooth. What's going on, guys? Frank here with 10 Back Bowling here at Park Center Lanes in Canton, Ohio, where today we have the all-new DV8 Hellcat XLR8. This ball features the same core as the original DV8 Hellcat, but they've wrapped a all-new cover on it, the Maximum Havoc cover. Today we're going to be bowling on a beat-up US Open pattern. It's actually the same pattern that they used for the match play portion of the US Open, and it's got a little over 4 games on it with about 4 people per pair bowling on those lanes. So they're pretty beat up, but let's see what the ball does. Before we take it out to the lanes though, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. We're going to start a little farther right, and we're going to start working our way left. Ooh, that was right. Right quick. There's a lot of built-in hook here, playing towards the gutter, which is nice when you're bowling on shorter patterns. Usually it becomes quite a bit of a challenge if you're bowling on a shorter or a low volume pattern and you need to get your ball to the gutter and the gutter doesn't hook. It can really make the pattern play a lot harder. Okay, so we get a little fast with it, and it doesn't quite read the lane. That was a little better. We had to inch our feet a little bit farther right. Oh, that was way too fast to the right. Way too quick to the right. Okay, so that's the gutter for this bowling ball. Overall, it's probably a little too sensitive for this part of the lane, or this bowling ball in this part of the lane for me. We're going to take the Brunswick mindset out now and play the same part of the lane so you can see the differences between the two balls. So I already feel like the mindset is cleaner through the front than the Hellcat is. I don't feel like I have to manipulate it as much playing this far right. Yeah, definitely cleaner through the front. I feel much more comfortable throwing this one as opposed to the Hellcat, and I think that it's because of how early and how much that Hellcat wants to read the front part of the lane. Okay, so there's the mindset playing the gutter as well. Mindset for me is much cleaner and actually a lot slower down lane as well. So in terms of trying to play that far right, bowling balls like this one I think are going to be a lot better than a bowling ball like the Hellcat is. So now we're going to make a jump to the left, start getting our hand around the bowling ball a little bit more, and see if we can see any major differences between the Hellcat and the mindset. Woo! Oh, wide right. No chance. No chance with a big ball. That's a little better. Okay. Mark it. Oof. That's just so much bowling ball. So much ball for this. Clearly I'm getting my hand around the bowling ball too much for this part of the lane, so on this last one we're going to keep our hand behind the bowling ball a little bit longer and see what it does. Still reads it. So a lot of hook in this ball. This is hook in a box for sure. We're going to take the mindset, play the same part of the lane. I'm expecting the mindset to be much cleaner through the front and a little bit lazier down lane to give me a little bit more forgiveness than what the Hellcat's giving me right now. Still pretty strong. Still pretty sharp. I don't think either one of these bowling balls are going to have a chance playing that part of the lane. They're just, that part of the lane is F-R-I-E-D, fried. There's where you can really see the difference between the two. The Hellcat just keeps going in that spot where the mindset really slows down. All right, so overall you can see a lot of big differences between the mindset and the new Hellcat. Hellcat is much more responsive in my opinion, and it has a lot sharper motion down lane. On something like this, where you're bowling on an extremely flat pattern, I'm probably not going to be throwing this Hellcat. I would be more than likely throwing something like either a Solid Paragon, maybe a mindset if I needed a little bit more motion. But overall, I would be looking for something that's going to be a little smoother and rounder in shape and not so responsive when it sees the friction. So we're going to make one more move. We're going to make another jump to the left. We're going to get the hand around the bowling ball a ton and see if we can create some right to left motion out of these two bowling balls. I can definitely tell that there was very little lane play in this part of the lane, which would explain why the balls just look so much better from farther in. But that being said, I do like how this one turns a corner for me. I don't really have to do a whole lot of manipulating to get it to go sideways. It naturally wants to lock up and go sideways. Triple. Yeah. Still pretty clean from that far in. That one I tried to stay behind it a little bit more, and that ball said, no, Frankie. You better get your hand around it. There we go. Wow. I'm going to wait until the very end to tell you guys where I think this ball is going to fit for me, but as you can see, this ball definitely has a home going more right to left as opposed to trying to force it into the dry. This ball likes to see a lot of oil in the front and middle part of the lane and is not afraid to unleash it on the back part of the lane. So we're going to take the mindset now, do the same thing, and see what we got. I think this is where we're going to start seeing the biggest difference between the two, like going right to left. You can definitely see differences trying to keep the angles a little straighter. We're going to see a big difference between the two going more right to left. I think I'm going to notice that the mindset is definitely going to want to start up a little faster for me. It's not going to want to get through the front. I don't see myself making mistakes and leaving 4 pins with this one. I think if I make a mistake, it's definitely going to be through the face, or possibly out the window if it doesn't read it. Yeah, much lazier down lane. Still clean to the front when I get my hand around it, but much lazier downlane. This is where the window of the mindset ends for me. But the window for the Hellcat is still there. Oh, there was a 4-pin. Okay. Definitely slower, much slower. I have to do a little bit more manipulating with that one. I got to get my hand around it even more and almost get a little bit of a spin to get through the fronts. Whereas the Hellcat, I really didn't need to do that. The Hellcat, I could just get my hand around it like I normally want to, and it has no problem turning the corner. Just locks up way too fast, but it's still slower down lane. All right, guys, there you have it for the all-new DV8 Hellcat XLR8. First impressions of the bowling ball, I definitely see a lot more motion out of this and far more responsiveness to the friction as opposed to something like the Mindset, my Paragon, or even my Envy Tour that I currently have in my bag. I think for me, I'll probably be throwing this bowling ball on higher ratio patterns. You know, I think like probably 6-to-1s and higher, where I need a little bit more forgiveness. I think for the flatter patterns, this ball is probably going to be a little too much for me, and I'm going to need something that's going to be a little slower and a little more rounder in shape to kind of blend out the flatness of those patterns. House shots, definitely going into my bag. Especially for places that I go to where I see higher volume house shots, this ball is going to be a killer for me. Now, for you guys, obviously higher ball speed, higher rev rate players, you're going to like this one because of how responsive it is to the friction. Ball definitely digs into the lane just as much as a lot of the other big balls that are out on the market, but it is much more continuous and it has a much sharper motion down lane compared to a lot of the other balls that are on the market. So I think you guys are going to really like this one. Tweeners, this is going to be probably a little more on the conditional side, as it is for me. You're gonna like this when you see higher volumes and a little more blended patterns, but I think when you get to patterns that get a little too clipped, it's probably going to give you a little bit of an over-under reaction because of how sharp it is when it sees the friction, and you're probably going to want to have something that blends that out a little bit more. Straighter players and slower ball speed, this is going to be your snow tire. If you're looking for one of those for the winter time, this is going to be the one to get. I wouldn't recommend getting this one if you don't like playing a little farther left or like opening your angles up because of how strong this bowling ball is. If you like the video and you're looking to get one for yourself, stop by 10 Back Pro Shop here in Park Center Lanes in Canton, Ohio, or at our new location at Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia, or you can stop by your local pro shop and pre-order yours today. Until next time, we'll see you guys.